grade 5s. This lesson is number 7, and it's going to go over fractions, decimals, and percentages. So we're going to get percentages in there to show you how they are all three can be used to represent a number. So I'm going to actually just go over the questions with you in your booklet. So you're working on pages 22 and 23 in your booklet. So when we look at this top number here, we can represent a number with like shading in of 100th. So this is 100th. And we have 60 shaded in. So if I was to show that as a fraction, I would say I have 60 out of 100 shaded. And then you've been converting fractions to decimals lately, so that would be 0.60. And then if I was to look at that as a percent, I would say it's 60%, which is just you do a 60, and then you make your lovely percent sign, which you should be used to as you've seen them on tests. Like that 60%. So number 1 is asking you, think of at least 5 times you've seen a percent sign or use percentages. So just list them here. 5. If you can come up with 5, that would be great. You should be able to at least come up with 3. Number 2 is the question that I really want you to see how all 3 are related. So sometimes you're going to get shaded. So you can see here I have some shaded, and it tells me how many I've shaded. I have 50 out of 100. So I need to put that as a decimal. Then I need to put that as a percent. Here, there's nothing shaded, but it's going to tell you, well, there's 30 out of 100. So what would that be as a shaded? So shade in your 30 of 100. Here is a decimal, and what does that look like as a percent? And here it's shaded already, but you need to come up with the fraction and the decimal, and it's giving you the percent. So every question's kind of giving you 2 of the 4 ways to show a number. Down here, these are true or false statements. So are these statements correct? You could just say yes, no, yes, no. You could put true, false, true, false. So 75%, is that greater than 0.5 or 50 hundredths? So you got to think about which one is greater. Just as I'm working through this, you can also remember equivalent decimal to 0.60 is 0.6. These 2 decimal numbers are equivalent. So you're just going to go through, you're going to read these 4, and you're going to tell me yes, no, or sorry, these 5, there's one right there, true or false, just so you can see as you compare these numbers. On page number 22, it says this at the top, it is useful to know how common percentages such as 25%, 50%, and 75%. So these are like our benchmarks in percentages. These are numbers we should know. And so when you can think of it always as this, quarters. So if you have 25%, that means you have 1 of them shaded. So if I had another quarter to represent 50%, well, that means I'd have half of it shaded or 2 of them shaded. And 75% is 3. 3/4 of them shaded. So then here you want to think about that as you are representing them. And then you are going to shade the grids to show the following fractions by completing the missing information. So you're going to shade, then you are going to fill in the missing numbers that are missing as you go. So this one is almost all done for you. You just got to do the shading, and then this one you got to add the decimal and the percent. Number 5, shade the shapes to show the following percentages. So this up here and these up here will help you realize how much to shade, giving you the hint, and then you read the percentage to see. This question's a really neat one. You are going to need to use a ruler. You're going to show fractions on like a circular pie. So James goes on holiday. He has $100, so that's all of this money right here. It's $100 spending money, and spends it as outlined below. Show this on a pie graph and label each section of the pie with the correct percentages. So I would go around and figure out, first of all, if this is 100% the whole circle, what do these longer lines represent? Then I would use a ruler and say, well, he spends $25, which is 25% of his money on rides. So then, like a clock, I would probably start up here, and I'd find where 25 is, and I would use my ruler and draw lines, and that'd be my pie chunk, and I would maybe make that one color. And then I would make snacks. He spends $35, which is 35% on snacks, $15, which is 15% on flip-flops, and then $25, 25% on souvenirs. So you're going to now turn this into like a pie chart to represent how he spends his $100 on his holiday. I think that is all I'm going to cover with you today. This is now just showing you that fractions, decimals, and percentages are related. Thank you.